G'day guys, my name's Taz. In last week's video, we put the drag bars on Steve, my XV750. While we're up the front end, I thought I'd lift the bike in the air and we put some fork gaiters on and take the front fender off to give it a little bit more chopper look. Join me. These are eBay 38mm fork gaiters. I think they were about $16, but it did take a little bit of time for them to be delivered. I didn't bore you with the details of getting the bike in the air. This is just a cheap, super cheap bike lift, or if you're in the States it'd be a Harbour Freight or something like that. Bike lift works really well. Back wheel's still touching, front wheel's about 5 or 6 centimeters off the ground. Just got to probably take the front wheel off to be able to drop the fork tubes down enough in one piece to slide these over the top and then put it all back together. I can't be bothered today doing electrics, so I won't move these until next time, but you probably should do it all in one go. This has got a touring frame on it for a screen. Just can't be bothered getting rid of that until I do a few more jobs with the electrics in this area. The front wheel is pretty easy to take off this bike, but I have found in the past that you need to take both brake calipers off and then take it out so that you can remove the front wheel and put it back in easily. So we'll do that first. So 12mm socket. In there, and we'll just do the other side. Make sure that your kids or your partner doesn't come and play with the brake lever. This retaining nut is also 10mm. Pop that aside. Yeah, 17 for the main axle nut. Aside. Just disconnect the speedo drive. Front wheel is out. While we're at it, we're going to remove the front fender, and that'll come back into the build at a later date. It's just 10mm socket. Now we've got the fender off, I want to actually use this fork brace. So we'll get these out and put this back on. need the short extension just to give us the room that we need. Now we'll just replace that fork brace. So I've put the fork brace back on, basically to provide some rigidity to this. These are not particularly big diameter forks, they're not particularly strong, so this will help just control the twisting, just make it a little bit more rigid. I think it's worth running that personally, and it'll also protect the rider from a little bit of water spray. Let's start dropping the forks down. You can always tell when you've got aftermarket or home done stuff because it's an odd size. That's a 13. So we undo these, and in theory the fork tubes will drop down in the triple trees. It's a 6mm Allen key. Just going to put a cushion under there, just in case they let go and come sliding out, just to try and limit the damage. Yeah, there we go. They are a clip. So we just unclip the brake hoses, let those calipers dangle, and in theory open that fractionally. Out they come. Just whack the fork gaiter on. Slide that down. We'll fix that in a moment. These are 1mm smaller, just to make sure that they're tight. These are 39, these are 38mm. This has gone surprisingly smoothly. When I did this on the XV750, it took some time. Hold out hope something will go wrong, but we'll start putting it back together. So we've just made sure they're in the right position. Just going to thread this in, finger tight. Let it back down until the top of this moulding here is equal to the top of the clamp. Make sure the other side's the same. Tighten them down. Put these plugs back in. and that will hold the fork tubes in the clamps long enough to get it all back together. Just one more job to go. We're going to put some cable ties on the top and bottom of both sides. Guys, that's the completed fork gaiter install and removal of the front fender. Just remember, in Australia it's not legal to run no fender. I love the look and I'm quite willing to accept the risk, but that choice is yours. The fork gaiters went on perfectly. They're an eBay item. I think they were about 16 bucks, but they did take a couple of months to arrive from China. With all that's going on, postage is pretty slow. I think it looks fantastic. Got the new tyre on. It's a Dunlop D404. It's the correct tyre for the size. It's the correct tyre for the bike. I found that the tyre that was on the bike was actually slightly higher and wider than what is recommended, so I put the recommended tyre on and it does handle a lot better. It wants to dip into the corners nicely. Guys, if you liked the install, click like. Please remember to subscribe if you're new here. Comment please. Hope you like what I've done. I certainly do. And if you wanted to support the channel, go to buymeacoffee.com/iRideTaz. Chris Huskins did, Brett did, and they've caused me to bounce off the walls with the amount of coffee that they've bought me. So guys, thanks very much. Till I see you next time, I'm out.
Uh-huh.